Everybody in YouTube land, this is ET doing a little drying of clothes at the old coin laundry. Just put in 35 minutes of drying in a really big dryer. Cost me like 400 or 500 yen, I forgot. Like basically you can get dryers for 100 yen for 10 minutes. And since we had all this rain and finally it looks like it's clearing up, but it's still really hazy and overcast, so it's possible that it might rain again. And yeah, gotta do the old laundry so you have something to wear. Got one more week before summer vacation, so that's pretty cool. This year there might be one more week of classes. Closing ceremony is Friday. Monday is beach day, so it's a 3-day weekend for us. That's pretty cool, and looking forward to that, definitely. So next week is the last week of classes per se, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and of course there's either feast or famine on that last week. Either they're trying to cram as many lessons and things in before, or it's like, okay, Eric Sensei, it's pretty obvious the students don't want to study, so let's just do games. And I think next week is going to be a games week for me. I think it's more if it's near the end of a semester or a grading period or something like that, then they're definitely going to cram in as many lessons as possible, which kind of sucks, because throughout, well, at the beginning of the year, it always happens with a really, really slow start. You know, it seems like in junior high school, for the first year students, the HNSA students, seems like we do the ABCs for 2 freaking months. It's like, it doesn't take 2 months to do the ABCs, you know. It's like the reading, the writing, the learning of the uppercase, lowercase, and actually, yeah, I guess the problem. What is the problem? They should have learned this in elementary school, at least how to write ABCs. And I guess when I was in ALT in elementary school, they're just doing the speaking part. So I think the reason why I think they should have learned it in elementary school is junior high school is when they really start to kick into learning the kanji, which are the Chinese characters in the Japanese language that Japan uses, that are, it's really complex to learn. So you're asking the students to learn ABCs and the really difficult kanji at the same time, which, it's kind of hard. And don't forget, you got math, history, social studies, and and all other stuff going on at the same time. So, you can't really expect the students to, retain it so quickly, I guess. So, I mean, young kids learn quickly, but not when you throw that much crap at them. Yeah, so, I don't know. I think if I were to readjust the education system, I would throw the ABCs really early, like first, second grade. And first, second grade. Fuck it. I would just say first, second grade, start learning the ABCs by recognition and writing. So get it over with. Because they're learning Hiragana and Katakana, which are not as difficult. So, there's probably a way you could, not overlap it, relatively easily. I mean, they have 6 years of elementary school to learn the ABCs. They should be able to read, write, and recognize all of them. There should be no need whatsoever to actually study them in junior high school, first year of junior high school. Because, I mean, it's not like the Roman alphabet is not used in Japan. It is used regularly, so they should definitely learn it a lot earlier. Well, at least that's my thoughts on it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Put something in the comments. Let me know what you think about my analysis of the situation. Let's see, what else is going on? Oh, we have a speech contest going on. So the week after next, so next week is the last week of classes. But sometimes you'll be asked to help with the speech contest stuff, and I have been asked. Actually, I volunteered because sometimes I find it better if you volunteer and you set the hours or you set it the way you want it. It's better than, I work for a dispatch company, so it's better than the school calling the company and then the company calling me or the school back and then blah blah blah. It's better just for me, my situation. I just say, okay, next week, the week after classes, I will help with the speech test, and I volunteer. Let's get started, because last year we only had like 2 days of practice, so let's start earlier. Come on, guys, we can do this. Go team. And then, which is, last year was kind of a waste, because number one, I had to write most of the speech, I had to correct most of it, and then after that, there was only a little bit of time for her to practice her pronunciation of it. She is a good English speaker, but speaking's a whole different animal, public speaking. And she was competing with some pretty heavy-duty, basically fluent English speakers who, Japanese kids who have lived overseas or been studying for freaking years, etc., etc. Why are you here, lady? So we had maybe a couple hours of actual intonation and pronunciation practice on a pretty difficult topic that she picked, and I had to put in some filler to get to the time limit of 5 minutes, so just under 5 minutes I think it was. But anyways, so I volunteered myself for the week after, and I figured if I can control that week, I'm pretty cool with that. Plus I want to help the school. I got a really good situation going, so I don't want, if I really wanted to be a dick, I could just take vacation and say, nah, I can't help, sorry. But I don't mind. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to try to control the environment that I have to work in, which is going to be an air-conditioned room, and it's going to be before noon. So it's like, let's get in there and get out. I mean, the kids got all their club activities and stuff going on, which, is kind of interesting. Summer vacation means they keep going to school, but then they just only do club activities for most of the time. Definitely not the same as it is in America. Summer vacation means we're not going to school. But then again, summer vacation means the end of a school year, and then after summer vacation, beginning of a new year. But in Japan, summer vacation is smack dab in the middle of a school year, so it's not like you're going into the next grade. You're just going to go back to the same grade. So, there's a whole bunch of things that happen that way. It's a process. It's a designed process, and it ends up working out in the end. It's not a bad thing. A lot of people talk shit about, the education system here, etc., etc. And I've been known to talk a little bit about it, but if you analyze the whole process, the country as a whole and the education as a whole, it's not that bad. I would probably, I'd give it a passing grade. Let's see. Yeah, so rolling into summer vacation, pretty stoked about that. I mean, it's hot. So Unrested, one of the other YouTubers, just did a video about how to survive the heat. He does JFAQs, J-F-A-Q, and he's pretty good JFAQs. He did a lot of them. Yeah, he's been doing it for a while. I mean, I have a lot in the audio podcast, but he's been doing them in video. I kind of wish I did them in video the whole time instead of doing audio, because audio is a pain in the neck. It's easier than video, but if you do vlog style video, doing a podcast is kind of harder. Podcasts people can take with them, so that's kind of cool. But turning on the video camera and just talking is sometimes a lot easier. But then you can kind of do it anywhere, like I'm doing it while I'm driving. So how do you guys like this view? I decided to not do front view, only kind of do like the side view. So how do you guys like it? Let's give it a little bit more. See if I can get that going here. Yeah, so surviving the heat as I sit in an air-conditioned car. surviving the heat in Japan. I mean, let me say this. You're going to be working if you're going to be an ALT, you're going to be working uncomfortably for at least 2 months of heat. Like, really uncomfortably. So, but this year hasn't been too bad. So the last 2 weeks, last week was freaking hot, humid, sticky. But before that, there's a little bit, let's say 2 weeks. There's 2 weeks of heat, and then I got 1 more week, so I'm assuming next week. So about 3 weeks of really hard to bear heat and humidity. It's not even the heat, it's the humidity. You know, you're in a classroom with like 40 something students, you know, elementary or junior high or high school, plus, you know, yourself and a teacher. So that's 42 bodies generating, you know, 98.6 degrees of freaking heat. You know, Fahrenheit. I don't know what Celsius is in the body temperature. But you can do the Google if you really want. You know, normal body temperature, 98.6 Fahrenheit. So, and my school has fans, but I've been to other schools that didn't have any fans. But the fans, all they do is blow around hot air. They have the windows open. You gotta have your pimp sweat towel. You gotta have your pimp towel with you. And you gotta drink a lot of freaking water all day. If you're lucky, like my school has a really nice filter system with cold and hot water, so you can always get really nice water. And they have a nice freezer with ice cubes, so you pretty much hydrate the whole time. You gotta hydrate. And you gotta have your pimp towel. Do I have a pimp towel? Oh, I got one of my pimp towels right here. So, it's kind of fun. You just gotta, it's hot. You just gotta suck it up and enjoy it, yeah? I used to bitch and complain, but now I'm just like, yeah, I love the heat. Because I realize, you know, in December, January, February, you're freezing your balls off. And I don't mind the heat. I can deal with the heat. The cold really gets me. So I just suck it up and say, you know, enjoy it. Just to try to dress as comfortably as possible. And hopefully your teacher's room has the air conditioner on, which helps. And one kind of tip I will give you is, like I had 3 classes in a row, first, second, and third, 10-minute breaks in between, and I don't go back to the teacher's room. And the reason why I don't do that is it's a pain. You only got 10 minutes. You go down and up. You wasted, you know, like 3 or 4 of the minutes. You expended energy, which builds up heat. Then you go in the air conditioning, get used to it. Then you got to go back in the heat. So it's just not worth it. You got 3 classes in a row. Just suck it up and stay out in the heat. And just think about the air conditioner you're going to go back to. When you're not working, the heat's no problem. You know, you can wear shorts, t-shirt, whatever, go to the beach. But other than that, at school, you just got to learn to suck it up and deal with it. Short sleeve shirts. If you got tattoos, sorry to hear that. That's a choice you made. You got to deal with that one. Tino and Unrested. I got the short sleeve action going. But, you know, short sleeve doesn't help that much. It's fucking hot. No matter what you do. Let's see, what else? Yeah, the beach. If you live near the beach like me, it's always nice to jump in the water. Cool down. Let's see, how else do I keep cool? What I do is actually exercise in the heat. Now, of course, not middle of the freaking day. Sometimes I do, but you got to know your body. So I take walks at night. I ride my bike in the morning or whatever. So if you're used to being out in the heat and not sitting in air conditioning all day, it's a lot easier to bear those classrooms. Yeah. So I highly recommend that you don't just sit in your air conditioned apartment the whole time and watch YouTube videos. Oh, unless you're watching mine. That's cool too. But I highly recommend you get out in the heat. If you want to get used to it, you got to get out there and, you know, go get your bicycle, your mamachari, or your mountain bike, whatever you have, and get out there and suck it up and enjoy that heat. Yeah. That's what I recommend. Because, you know, I've had friends that are from Canada that really can't deal with the heat. All they do is sit home in air conditioning. And the minute they step out the door, they're sweating. I'm like, dude, you got your air conditioner on like 18 degrees Celsius, which is, you know, Arctic cold the whole night, the whole day and night. And then you step out, of course you're going to be sweating. You got to get used to this stuff, yeah? I mean, the Japanese students, they play sports and this stuff all day, all summer, all winter. So if you really want to get used to the sweatbox of teaching ALT summers in Japan, you gotta get out there and get used to the heat. Yeah, there's no other way about it. Lots of fluids, drink lots of fluids. You know, in your time off, exercise, so your body gets used to being out in this freaking oven, this pressure cooker oven out here. Hot, humid, sticky, muggy, Japan summer. You gotta love it. Okay, I think that's enough. We got 15 minutes of video I gotta upload to the YouTubes. We'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.